with the CEO and co-founder Jeff Edison of Phillips Edison. Excited to be here in this wonderful booth.
Yeah. It's a big step up for us. It's looking
good. It is, absolutely. So I personally just don't know, and I'm sure other people are curious too. Give me your origin background. Give me your background. Give me where are you from? Born, raised.
Yeah, so I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and lived there. I actually was born on Long Island, but I lived there for about 6 months, and then we moved to Grand Rapids, and I grew up in Grand Rapids, one of 3 boys, and
I didn't know that.
went to East Grand Rapids High School.
Middle?
I'm the middle guy, yeah, the middle. The third middle one, that's my gig.
And then you went to Harvard,
and then I went
right?
to Colgate for undergrad, met my wife at Colgate, and then I went to, graduated from college in '82 and went to Harvard Business School for 2 years, and then I went and worked for the Taubman Company, and they had a recruiting thing at the business school where they were trying to bring people in and rotate them through the different functions in order to get more senior management, something that we actually have at Pico now.
Right.
And it was a great program. I started as a leasing agent, leased for a couple of years, mall space, and then it was about 2 years in, I moved into the marketing side of it, which was for them really doing the research for new centers, existing centers, and anchors, and trying to get new anchors into centers and that kind of thing. And then from there went into the development group, and I worked there probably 2 years, and then got a job offer from Morgan Stanley and moved to New York with my family, and was there through.
Did you meet Mike at Taubman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Became we met. We were both leasing agents, and we were both on sort of the same kind of a training program. And Mike had known Bobby Taubman. He went to high school with him.
Okay.
So that's how they knew each other. And then our families got to be close, and we got to be friends. We bought a little building in Birmingham, Michigan, a little single tenant street retail. We were ahead of our time.
What was it?
It was a local clothing store that we ended up putting in. So we worked together on that, and that was our first project. So we kept at that, and then after I was at Morgan Stanley through, I want to say '91, and I got cut, and I was out on the street looking. Ended up going to work for a company called South Charles Realty, which was a workout group for what was then Maryland National Bank, which became Bank of America.
Okay.
And that was what sort of led to seeing a lot of properties for sale sort of post in that really tough time in the early '90s for the real estate business. And Mike and I were talking. I was like, Mike, we should be buying this. I shouldn't be selling it. We need to figure out how to do that. And so that's when we started Phillips Edison and started buying grocery anchored shopping centers. You don't want to be too old school, but you also don't want to overhype the change. The retail business has always changed, and we've been firm believers that it not only has it always changed, but it always will continue to change. It's a living organism, and the consumer, as they change their needs, the retailers change to what those needs are. We're in a very particularly interesting time of change because the consumer's deciding right now how much of the internet they really want.
Absolutely.
They clearly love the social media part of it, and they love the convenience of home delivery for a certain portion of their goods.
Just to interrupt you, my thought, you just nailed it as far as we always hear about there's all these headlines about disruption and, oh no, what are we going to do here and there? Well, the consumers are demanding convenience and quality. So in essence, we're sort of creating the disruption because the companies that are delivering quality and convenience are the ones that are they're winning. I can give you a bunch of case studies, whether it's Casper or Dollar Shave Club, or you can go down the line with the different companies.
With the guys who are trying to figure it out. But we also should step back and say, okay, when we started this business, Walmart was not in the grocery business. Today, they're the largest grocer in the world. The internet hasn't had, like, even, and the cities and the towns that the downtowns that were beat up by Walmart, I mean, absolutely amazing. The average citizen in the United States.
Wait, say that again. What do you mean?
Well, there used to be little towns with downtowns, and when Walmart would come in, they would just wipe out the entire downtown. The internet's beaten up a lot of businesses and stuff, but what Walmart did is like unprecedented, and we tend to like overestimate like what's happening now and not go look back and say, well, what was that impact? And you know, the average person today in the United States spends, I think it's $2,000 at Walmart. Just the average person. If you take everybody and you say that's an incredible penetration for a small company in Arkansas who basically has been doing this for what, 35 years?
Right.
And the number one grocer in the country and I think in the world has developed. So we have to keep the internet in perspective, because if you go like to 1900 and you read the press about the Sears catalog, it was people were never going to shop anymore.
Right.
They were going to order everything on the Sears catalog. You could buy your house in the Sears catalog. You could buy your plow on it. You could buy your clothes in the Sears catalog, and it was this thick. But that didn't happen. People chose that they still wanted to have a retail experience, and now they're saying the same thing about the internet that they said about the Sears catalog and what they said about the catalog business. In order for internet grocery to really work, you actually have to change the consumer's behavior, because today, and I'll get the number wrong, but I think it's 75% of people don't know what they're having for dinner 2 hours before dinner.
Right.
So how do you order stuff online and have it delivered in a 2-hour time frame in a cost-efficient manner, right? Because people are really careful about what they spend on their groceries. They have to change that behavior, because they have to do what you did, which is order the night before.
Right.
And
well, what they need to do, so I do Uber Eats all the time. So in my case, it's like, I'm on my way home from work and I'll order it and Uber Eats delivers via a restaurant.
Right.
So the grocers will have to take the same approach at some point. But it's a lot way easier said than done with a big grocer to be able to deliver quickly.
I think they'll get there on that.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be able to, Instacart stuff to your house. You'll be able to click it back, and you'll be able to pick it up in the store, and it'll become seamless.
Advice you would give a young person entering retail real estate?
Start as a leasing agent. That's been my belief. If you start as a leasing agent, you'll understand the business from the ground up. You'll understand how the retailer thinks in their business decision of where to locate, and you'll understand the real details of the business. And when you get to later in your career, you may decide that's what you want to do forever. But if you don't, that perspective will always be helpful to you, because you'll never be afraid of leasing a space, because you know what you have to do, and you'll have an opinion that space is leasable or not leasable, and I can get this kind of rent. If you don't have that, I always feel like you're like a little bit behind.
All right, and there you have it. We had a great conversation with Jeff Edison. Excited to be at the show. Let's get some deals done.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you.
It's awesome.